Our trip starts thousands of years ago in Persia, which we now call Iran. This old land saw the start of a really clever and strong group of people. The Persian language, with its fancy writing and lots of words, came from this place. One of the first big empires ever was the Achaemenid Empire. This empire was huge, stretching from the Mediterranean Sea all the way to the Indus River Valley. The Achaemenids were really good at running things. They had a complicated system of government to keep their massive empire together. They also built roads, including the famous Royal Road, which helped people trade and talk across their land. This early empire helped the Persian language and culture grow. Persian became super important during this time. It was used for government, talking to other countries and trading across the empire. Words carved into stone tablets and monuments from this time show us how Persian changed. These carvings, often in 3 languages, give us a peek into Old Persian. The Achaemenid Empire, even though it was big and strong, eventually fell apart, but it wasn't forgotten. Persian culture continued to grow and change in the years that followed, showing up in new art, writing and buildings. The Achaemenid Empire had some amazing leaders. Cyrus the Great, a really smart ruler, started the empire. He was known for being fair and talking things out peacefully, so people really liked him. Cyrus conquered lots of land, bringing different cultures under Persian rule. Darius I, another important Achaemenid leader, came after Cyrus. He was good at organizing and leading armies, and he made the empire even bigger and stronger. He made changes to the government to make it run better. Darius also built things like canals and roads. One cool thing Darius did was create money that everyone could use. This helped trade and the economy. Art and architecture were really popular when Darius was in charge. The beautiful palaces of Persepolis with their detailed carvings show how grand his time was. Cyrus and Darius were super important to the Persian Empire. They created a way of ruling and a set of values that stuck around for a long time. What they did made it possible for amazing art and culture to happen later on. Even though the Persian Empire was strong and peaceful on the inside, it had problems from the outside. The Greek city-states became a big enemy. The Persian Wars, a bunch of fights between these two groups, lasted for many years and changed the ancient world. The Persian Wars were a fight between 2 very different cultures. The Greeks, with their independent cities and focus on everyone voting, were very different from the Persian Empire, where one person ruled. The wars tested the Persian army and its people. Even though their army was strong, the Persians lost some fights in Greece. The battles of Marathon, Salamis and Plataea are famous examples of how the Greeks fought back. These losses changed who was strongest in the ancient world. It allowed the Greek Empire to become powerful under Alexander the Great. The Persian Wars, even though nobody really won, were important. They made Persia and the West become rivals. But they also helped the 2 cultures learn from each other. Even after losing, Persia was still important in the area for many years. After the Achaemenid Empire fell, Persia was divided and ruled by outsiders. But then a new group, the Sasanians, became powerful in the 200 SCCE. The Sasanian Empire made Persia strong again and its culture blossomed. The Sasanians really loved art, architecture and literature. They brought back old Persian traditions and mixed them with ideas from the East and West. Zoroastrianism, an old Persian religion, became popular again during this time. The Sasanian kings were good at fighting wars. They fought with the Roman and Byzantine empires for a long time, trying to control important trade routes and land. These wars were expensive, but they changed the ancient world. The Sasanian period was a time of learning. Smart people came to the Sasanian court to talk about all sorts of things. The Sasanians also helped with trade along the Silk Road, connecting the East and West and helping share goods, ideas, and new ways of doing things. Persian culture has always been famous for its amazing art, science, and writing. From the detailed carvings of Persepolis to the beautiful miniature paintings of the Safavid era, Persian art is beautiful and clever. Persian architecture with its big domes, pretty arches and detailed tilework, shows how talented Persian builders were. The mosques, palaces and gardens of Isfahan, Shiraz and other Iranian cities are great examples of this. Persian scientists and mathematicians made important discoveries. People like Avicenna and Omar Khayyam made big discoveries in medicine, astronomy and maths that changed how people thought in the Islamic world and other places. Persian literature, from the epic poems of Ferdowsi's Shahnameh to the spiritual poems of Rumi and Hafez, is beautiful, deep and full of wisdom. These writings have been translated into lots of languages and still inspire people today. Persian culture, with its amazing art, clever language and good manners, has changed nearby areas and the whole world. Through trade, conquest and sharing ideas, Persian art, language and ways of thinking have spread to many different cultures. You can see Persian architecture, especially domes, arches and fancy tilework, in buildings from India to Morocco. The Taj Mahal in India, with its huge dome and beautiful decorations, shows how Persian architecture traveled. Persian food, with its tasty spices, delicate flavors and fresh ingredients, is popular all over the world. Dishes like biryani, pilaf and kebab, originally from Persia, are eaten everywhere. Persian writing, especially the poems of Rumi, Hafez and Omar Khayyam, is read all over the world. Their poetry, translated into many languages, still speaks to people about love, life and what it means to be human. The Persian language, with its fancy writing and lots of words, has changed other languages, especially in places that were once part of the Persian Empire or learned things from Persian culture. Persian words used in other languages show how cultures mixed, history happened and knowledge spread. In English, words like bazaar, caravan, checkmate and turquoise come from Persian. These words show how Persians and the West talked to each other through trade and other things. In India, Persian had a big impact on Urdu. When the Mughals ruled India, Persian was used for government and culture, changing Urdu's words, grammar and writing. Arabic also borrowed words from Persian, mostly for writing, philosophy and government. This shows how close Persian and Arab cultures were, especially during the Islamic Golden Age. Persian traditions passed down through families show us Persia's rich culture. From old festivals celebrating nature to fancy weddings and being kind to guests, Persian traditions show what Persians believe and how they see the world. Nowruz, the Persian New Year, is celebrated when spring starts. It's a time for new beginnings and is celebrated with families getting together, special meals and presents. The Haft-Seen table, with 7 special things that start with the letter S in Persian, is an important part of Nowruz. Yalda night, the longest night of the year, is another old Persian tradition. Families get together, tell stories and eat special foods like watermelon and pomegranate. Yalda night is about light winning over darkness and the promise of longer days. Persians are famous for being kind and generous to guests. Guests are treated very well and given the best food. Tea, served in pretty glasses, is important, often with sweets and pastries. Even though things have changed over time, Persian culture is still alive today and its influence goes far beyond Iran. From groups of Persians living in other countries to people all over the world who love Persian art, writing and movies, Persian culture is still important today. Persian movies, with their poetic stories, realistic views of society and difficult topics, are famous around the world. Iranian filmmakers like Abbas Kiarostami, Asghar Farhadi and Jafar Panahi have won important awards, sharing Persian stories with everyone. Persian music, with its beautiful melodies, complex rhythms and emotional words, is still popular. Traditional instruments like the tar, setar and daf, along with newer music styles, keep Persian music alive. Persian carpets, famous for their detailed designs, bright colours and amazing craftsmanship, are valuable things in homes and museums all over the world. Each carpet tells a story through its patterns, showing the artistic history of where it was made. Persian culture, with its long and interesting history, continues to inspire and amaze people all over the world. Its influence on the world shows how powerful art, writing, and the human spirit can be.